In an early video, I hope I debunked the myths surrounding frivolous lawsuits, and I'm going to put a link to that below. Today I want to talk about runaway jury verdicts. A runaway jury verdict is a myth in most cases. When you see a verdict that's in the tens of millions or hundreds of millions of dollars, it's very easy for the press and even the losing party to say that the jury was crazy. This was what's called a runaway verdict, which means that the money that they awarded had nothing to do with the case. It was just something that was crazy. But there are some things I want to point out about the so-called runaway jury verdicts that you may not have thought of before, and you may be persuaded by the press to think that just because a verdict is very high that it must be a runaway jury verdict. Let me give you a couple of things. Number one, nobody but the jury was in the courtroom listening to all the evidence from beginning to end. They were able to evaluate the parties. They could see the body language of those testifying. They could see all the documents, the medical records, the exhibits, the medical literature. They were also able to determine the demeanor of all of those people that are taking the stand and testifying. Not only the parties, but the expert witnesses. And so they're able to use all of that information. And there are times when there are things that happen during a case which get a jury angry, either because the doctor or hospital was lying, or they were greedy, or they feel that the doctors and the hospital staff were just not knowledgeable. So sometimes one of those three factors can get a jury angry, and they want to send a message to the doctors and the hospitals that that kind of behavior is not going to be tolerated. And they just don't do it because they want to give out a large sum of money for no reason. Many times these verdicts are because they want a message to be sent that the conduct was so egregious and that the attitude and the callousness perhaps of the hospital and doctor was so great that they want this to be a wake-up call. And so that's what the litigation system can do. It allows juries to make decisions based on all the evidence, and we have to respect that when jurors go back into that jury room and deliberate, that they want to do the right thing, and what they are doing is based upon their review of the evidence and everything that happened during the course of that trial.